screws loose, they done stripped the bolts on them. Should've never sent them to pick up the work for them. Sprayed the park and had my shit inside the car. Marcus Smart Boy was shooting with a 36 on him. Said if he wasn't in the rush, they was all goners. Tech cursive on the Jets, he was gonna show.
All right. Greetings, Chudlings, and welcome to another episode of Chuddy's Corner, sponsored by Nick Prano Real Estate. Check out nickprano.com for all your local or worldwide real estate needs. nickprano.com. It is Wednesday, May 1st. Happy May, everybody. The Celtics are on to round two with a 118-84 beatdown of the Miami Heat in a closeout Game 5. The Heat are dead. I'm your host, Dugouts. With me, King Chuddy. How do you feel about the Heat being dead for now?
I feel real good about it. Like you said, for now, like it's the end of like a Halloween movie, and there's gonna be the last scene where they show them like hands sticking out of like the cream. Like, yeah, they're dead for now.
Yeah,
so.
well, I was thinking too, like a WWF type thing where like Adam Silver comes out and he's just like, ring the bell, get the magic circuits back on. Like he's got Jimmy Butler with him or something like that. He's like, ring the bell.
No, it feels good. Feels good. Felt almost surreal. Like it was too easy to actually just be like coasting and enjoying it. So very enjoyable. I think I said last time it's never enjoyable against the Heat. I stand corrected. That was very enjoyable.
Yeah, this one was fun. It was it was just pretty much a laugher all the way through. I think for like maybe the first 2 or 3 minutes they kept it within like 5, and then we just kind of dog walked them after that. So that was a really, really enjoyable night. It was obviously they were without Jaime Jaquez Jr. as well. So like they're like actually dead with just like being able to field players. So but you got to just play the team that's in front of you. So for the Celtics, it's awesome. We're on to round 2. I don't know, where do you want to begin? How do you want to begin on the game? Game was just a laugher. Yeah. It was just a beat down. There's not a whole lot. I mean, we can give a few shout outs. Obviously, Derrick White keeps it going.
The game is, like you said, the fact that it was a laugher is, it's like the thing with the Celtics has still been like, all right, how are we going to respond, especially when things are going well? It's like we always say we know we're going to show up when there's adversity. Tonight, no adversity situation came out, and it was like the killer instinct you want to see start to finish. Did not play with their food for 1 second. Like there wasn't a single Heat run at any point. We got that double-digit lead early, and I mean, just like you said, smoked them the rest of the game. Came out in the second half, and it was like, all right, are we going to take our foot off the gas? Are they going to put a little run? Like there's never even the slightest like, oh, they scored 2 threes in a row and it's down to 15. It was like, no, we smashed the thing right up to 30. And I mean, I don't know the exact like score back and forth, but it was never. There's never one moment where you felt like, like we even need like a timeout to calm things down. It was basically like foot on the gas, hand on their throat the entire game until they were completely dead. And that's what you want to see, start to finish. So just, I mean, answered a lot of questions.
So I'm with you on like, it's good that there's it's just kind of working on those situations where it's like, where that you have so much room for error coming out and executing. So this is obviously, you can say it's an example of that. I'm a little bit, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but I do feel like it's like this team was really had like nothing left. So I'm hoping like that in a situation in the next round, maybe we'll have an opportunity to have a similar type game and come out and kind of show that. I'm not saying that this doesn't prove that we can do it. I'm just saying like it's not like a definite proof of it. But either way, it's what we had to do. And it's what we came out and did. So we won 3 straight. The Heat didn't score more than I think 88 in those 3 games since they beat us in game 2. Crazy. So we just put the fucking clamps on them.
But no one was saying that shit about the Heat after game 2. They're all saying, Spo's a genius, he's got all the adjustments, like, double magic, what can the Celtics do? And no, like, so
I mean, Jimmy Butler said, don't let us win 1-2.
Exactly, they were talking shit, so it's like, obviously they were overmatched, but that's what you want to do when you're overmatched. Go out, leave no doubt, like, this is what we've been asking for, just go out and make the fucking statement start to finish, and we looked like the hungrier team start to finish. So again, obviously the talent discrepancy is obvious, but to win the intangibles, the fundamentals, the thing that everyone says the Heat and Heat culture always wins. It was like, no, that was Celtics culture right there. Like, not giving them even a fucking inch of breathing room. Never once giving them any reason to believe. Nothing, no, like, rhythm established at all. It was like I said, exactly what we wanted to do is just make them uncomfortable, impose your will from the jump. It's like, doesn't matter who's out there. We're going to go out and just smash you until the game is over. And O'Shea Brissett's slamming all over your face and Gino's playing.
That
like,
was sick.
Yeah, so, but it's like, usually even in the wins, there's a moment where it's like, all right, like we let our foot off the gas a little. There's absolutely none of that tonight. So, yeah, I know they're overmatched and they're dead, this, that, and whatever, but yeah, it's easy to say once we've killed them.
Well, yeah, no, because that is true. People were talking a lot of shit after game 2. We said, hold the line. We got this under control.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the fact how they handle it themselves, because like at the end of the day, I feel like the only real difference in this game and the other 2 games is just I feel like we just scored more than we'd had in those other ones, which you could maybe contribute to a little bit about Hamayaka's not being out there. But as far as what the Heat did, they basically was like identical to what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Which is very little against us and against our defense. So
right.
that was all well. I think if we're gonna talk about the Heat, I think like where does Tyler Herro go from here? Like what is his? Well, first of all, like if you're in the area and you weren't watching the regional broadcast, that's blasphemous. But Gorman was just letting it fly on Tyler Herro tonight, and it was pretty funny. And he had kind of a line, and I guess I'll sort of pitch the question that to you that he gave to Scal, where he's just like, if you're Tyler Herro, like, do you just like look at the situation and be like, I'm going to spend the offseason getting like better at playing defense, or do you just kind of like, I'm just going to assume that my offensive game is enough to keep me on the floor? But because he was a parking cone, he was getting attacked.
Yeah, but I mean, it was more. The Celtics were picking on him tonight in a way that I think in my notes at one point at the start of the second half, I was like, or maybe it was the second quarter, but I forget. At one point, I wrote down, I was like, I almost feel bad the way they were picking on him. Like, it really was pretty egregious. They were going after him. Jaylen Brown, one of the best games he's had against the Heat, and most of that was just attacking Herro and finally being like,
I know.
You're going to guard me with this guy straight up? Fine. Like, then I'm just going to go by you, go through you, go over you, whatever has to be done. And yeah, I mean, they made him look really, really bad, and I think it's been masked a bit because he has played really well on offense, but tonight it wasn't going on offense, and it was just notable, and it was like, put him on Holiday took him right into the post, put him on Tatum, like, immediately switched into aggression mode and goes by him. Derrick White, I think Hauser even, like, stepped back on him, Pritchard, all those guys are just lining him up, and so, yeah, it's grim, and I mean, it's nothing new, but again, it, like, goes to show how much. Obviously, there's a lot different from this year and last year, but it does beg the question, like, are they actually a better team with him? Because so much of, especially that Heat team, what they want to do, and they're so reliant on, like, their style, their defense, their toughness, and he's just, like, the antithesis of all of that. But, I mean, in this series, they have literally no one else who could do anything on offense, so it's like, he was a necessary evil, but, I mean, yeah, I get what they're saying, where it's like, it doesn't really work with him, but at the same time, like, what are you going to do with him? They gave him this contract. I mean, I was looking at the contract. Actually, I pulled up their roster and payroll during the game just because I was thinking, like, what can they even do? So, I don't know. I mean, we say these things in the NBA, and then a month goes by, and the rumor mill, and one team gets desperate, or this and that, and someone will convince themselves they need, like, a scoring guard who can create some offense. And
just, like, send him to the Wizards. Imagine him in Poole.
Oh, my God. Yeah, well, a lot of similarities for sure. But, yeah, I mean, it's tough. I don't think it's the kind of thing where you can just decide, like, all right, I'm going to start getting good on defense now. I think that ship might have sailed.
I don't know. I think that there is some of that.
He should be able to get better.
That there is.
But, I mean, there's just, like, a lot lacking in his game, obviously. And again, it's tough when he's out there and basically is, like, the lone offensive creator. So the situation itself, like, ideally you want him in a role where he's probably, like, your sixth man, like what Poole was for the Warriors, where you come in and basically just, like, get hot and try to score 10 points in 5 minutes. If he's, like, your starter, like, with where the Heat were at with injuries and stuff, I mean, again, he's, like, their go-to guy on offense. So, yeah, you're not going to win that way.
So obviously. you mentioned the Heats. I guess let's just do a little bit of let's dissect the Heat a little bit, kick them while they're down a little bit. What is,
happily,
like, I guess, like, Jimmy, how much longer is Jimmy Butler's contract? Because he's 34
he needs
now.
A new contract. So. I think he was going into the final year or something, so it's time. It's time for
next year?
Yeah, well, I think he has one more, but they'll probably try to extend him this offseason if that's the plan. But, yeah, I mean, it's decision time, and I'm sure the Heat aren't just going to obviously get rid of Jimmy. They'll keep convincing themselves that eventually someone will be forced to take their shitty players for a star. So they've seemingly been relying on, like, it's actually becoming a parody at this point. Every offseason, they're just like, well, we're Miami, like, we'll get a star. And it's like, that happened once in your franchise when LeBron had, like, just decided to go there because you had Wade and it worked out. But, like, other than that, It's never happened.
Yeah.
Stars don't just
Right, like that
go.
had nothing to do. That was just basically like the
Right
three
place,
of them
right
met,
time.
and the three of them met, and they're like, "Do we want to go to Cleveland,
Yeah.
Toronto, or Miami?" And it's like, okay, that's pretty obvious which one we're going with.
Yeah.
In our mid
one
20s,
team
the
that could make
prime
it
of our
work.
lives.
Yeah, and they've kind of been coasting on that, and it's like that's been the whole plan even the last few years, where they're just like, yeah, like a star's going to come here, and yeah, like Dame, sure, he wanted to go there, but okay,
Yeah.
whatever, like it's not.
But even if he did, like, I don't know that
Well,
from what we saw.
that's neither here or there, but I mean, yeah, in general, like I don't know what they do.
So are the Heat dead, because they were a 1 seed 2 years ago,
I think-
and then I feel like last year they came in as an 8 seed, they won, and then I feel like this year they told themselves that we can just do that all the time, and I just don't think that that's a thing.
So
it's kind of like you have to try.
More than anything is I think they need to stop thinking that they're like better than everyone else and they've outsmarted the rest of the league and they're some genius team. And I think it kind of starts with Butler and like it looks great when it's working, but when it's not, like they just look like idiots and such clowns, like resting on their laurels all year. And it's like you haven't accomplished shit, and now you're a playing team and you just got spanked in the first round by a team that's way better than you all around. And I'm sorry to anyone who thinks otherwise, but Jimmy Butler being there would not have changed the outcome of this series. Like,
well, that's what I was saying too. Like they were still an 8 seed all season with Jimmy Butler, so
and
it's
at
just
some
kind
point,
of like
that approach has to change. I mean, look around the league right now. All the teams who thought that the Lakers didn't work out, the Suns didn't work out. All the teams who took the regular season seriously and no one believed it all year cruised. The Thunder actually look really good. Oh, it turns out the Timberwolves are really good. It's like, oh, maybe the regular season does actually matter, and you can't just mail it in and then have some awful
huge
matchup.
win for the regular season matters crowd.
I'm actually excited about that. I'm happy that those teams won because it would have been annoying if all that went on and then like the Lakers just came out as an 8 seed and won the first round and the Suns are like cruising on all these teams that don't take it seriously. And I mean, it's good. I think it's good for the league, and I think it's good just like in general. You can't pull this shit. And I think last year, the further we get removed from everything, whereas like the Heat just went on the heater of all heaters, no pun intended, shooting, and that's like what happened. And the Celtics still almost won. And I mean, looking back now, look at game 2 of the series. The Heat made 23 threes. Do you know how many threes they made the entire rest of the series? The other 4 games
I'm going to guess less than 23.
21. In the other 4 games combined. So it's like, oh, maybe that wasn't some genius Spoelstra plan. Like, he called the make every shot play. Like, sorry, that didn't work. And you just can't rely on that. And I think it worked for a little bit, and a lot of the stuff that built Heat culture, as much as we make fun of it, like some of that was in there, and they did do a lot of smart things. And Spo is a great coach, and all this and that, and that'll get you so far. But it's like they started to get too high on their own supply. They believed in the magic, I think, themselves a little too much, and just were like, oh, whatever happens, we'll get there. And then eventually, like, we'll do the thing we do that no one can figure out. And it's just like, no, you're not that good. You don't have any, like, generational players. And, you know, the coach can make marginal difference for you, but at the end of the day, you can't mask that big of a talent gap and a team that's just not that good.
Yeah.
Bam's great. Spo's great.
Bam, he is great.
Yeah.
I think that if he can develop at least a decent, I know he shoots, I've seen him maybe shoot 1 or 2 threes, maybe this series.
He started to this year is the first time in his career.
But I think that's like the one thing that's kind of missing, because you notice like when he's out there and he gets the ball above the past 3-point line, like
they're happy to let him shoot.
Yeah. So if he can develop that game, I mean, he's a piece of shit, dirty wise, I think. But I also feel like that's a guy that I think if he was on your team, you might feel a little bit differently about him. But he literally he does offensive, he does moving screens. Like I know it's like it's a cliche thing, but sometimes I just would find myself just like watching just for that in games, and I would just be like, "This is fucking crazy."
And that's their whole offense is just dribble handoffs with him basically like blocking.
With him just like sticking his ass out.
It's hard to stop if they don't call it, honestly. So
actually, no, it's very effective. Very effective. All right, so the Heat are cooked. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So I guess, do you have anything more about like kind of the game, the series from the Celtics? I want to get a little bit into potentials of what happens next.
Definitely, I want to talk a few more things. For one, I want to say, because I haven't looked and like I don't know what the narratives are here and there, but I want to get out ahead of any potential narrative of like anyone questioning Tatum. I just thought Tatum was awesome tonight, and I thought it's so clear that the Heat, one of the best things about them is they are so good at just like taking away your best things and forcing you to not do the things you want. And that's what they did to Tatum all series, and especially tonight from the jump. They were just like, we are throwing everything at you. And he did exactly what you want him to do. Took what the defense gave him. It's not going to show up in the stat sheets. He took 9 shots tonight. And you know why? Because he waited for the double teams and got the ball in rotation. And we got that ball humming around and we're setting up wide open threes. And it was like 5 pass possessions, wide open corner 3 every time. Boom. So again, I don't know if there was hockey assists or like plays that he set up or whatever stat you can find to show it. But I mean, Tatum was unbelievable tonight, I thought. And that's exactly what you want from your superstar. So it's like, everyone wants to have it both ways, but all the things they said they want, all the things that people claim they want a superstar to do, to be selfless and just do what it takes to win and make the right play and not care about stats, like, that's exactly what he did. And that was what the defense took away. And he said, great, I'll swing the ball around, and there's wide open Hauser 3, wide open Holiday 3s, wide open White 3s, making it rain, and suddenly we're up 30 in the second quarter, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
because of the way Tatum's playing. I mean, just go look again. What was he? Team high by far. I think he was like plus 35 in 32 minutes tonight. Just absolutely dominant when he was on the court because he knows what they're trying to do, and he took it and used it against them to our advantage, and like that's how we steamrolled them.
Yeah, I think also the big thing that stands out to me too is the 12 rebounds. So it's like we talked a little bit about this. Like,
Yep.
It's like he's still getting down in the nitty gritty there.
Absolutely.
Obviously, like, you know, with Porzingis, it gives him a little bit more space too with Porzingis out. But I just think it's like to have your star player doing that and the things like you said too, getting rid of the ball at the right time. The box score boy is going to have a feast with this because he only scored 16 points again. Like you said, on 9 shots though. Right. Well, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. Like I'm saying, the box score boys though, like people are going to look at that stuff and it really is, and not to be like watch the game snobbish, but also to be watch the game snobbish, because if you're not watching the game at this point, you're just fucking crazy.
Although if you're not watching the game and you are listening to Chuddy's Corner, respect.
That's true. Because if I didn't watch a game, I know this is where I would go to find out what the hell happened and find out what really is going on. So shout out to those people who don't watch the games. But yeah, I think the point I was gonna say is I saw a bunch of like clips, like people someone on Twitter put it together, and it was like a splice of all these different plays, like the Heat defense. Like you could see Tatum with the ball, and they had like 3. It was like almost like how we used to do like the Giannis wall. Like it was almost like they were doing something, but closer to like the 3-point line for Tatum in a lot of situations. So I know that his numbers, like I saw someone tweet something too with like Chris Middleton's stats versus Tatum's in this series, and it's just like you got to be some kind of fucking moron to think to like. But
that's literally
again. This is why the box scores are not. It's not going to tell you the whole story. So I thought Tatum again. I did get an awesome series.
He was the best player on the team, and like again, what everyone else was able to do, all the awesome Jaylen Brown dominating Tyler Herro stuff, all the Derrick White going crazy the last 2 games, is because Tatum is happy to absorb extra defenders, and he's basically like, the rest of my team's good. We'll beat you idiots 4-on-3. And like, if that's the playoffs right there. You want him to score 34 points on 35 shots? Like, we know he can do that. Is that help? Are we going to beat the teams by 40 like that if he does? Probably not.
Yeah, I got. There's a hilarious tweet, and I'll retweet it too from the Chuddy account. But it's Gabe_blessed who had a couple bangers the other night.
Good tweeter.
Yeah, great tweeter. It's like some guy like eating a hamburger and then like puking it up, and it's just like forcing myself to like Tatum ball after Missoula made him a glorified role player. So it's like it is kind of But again, it's like I feel like that's a level of maturity to kind of realize that you don't
exactly.
It's just like it's like I think if you ask all the players on the court, regardless of what his stat line looked like who's the guy you got to really be looking out for here, they're all going to say Tatum. So for Tatum to kind of be able to say like I don't need to necessarily prove that to like my peers on the floor or on my team or on other teams. And it's like, not that he should care about proving it to regular people. At the end of the day, the only thing he has to win. He has to win. Exactly. And then like once he wins, all this stuff kind of goes away. So I think he's realizing that it's like, if getting a ring or whatever it takes doing this, you know, maybe in 2 or 3 years, I'm back to having to be like the big main scorer or something like that. The situation's different. Like guys are out. And I could maybe win that, but it's like you just get that ring, and then it kind of all goes away. So I think he's sort of really buying into that. It is kind of frustrating. It is kind of crazy sometimes to think that like a player as good as Tatum is just like playing like almost role player status.
Well, I don't even think
it's what's being given. It's what
that's aggressive.
Well, no, he's not fully role player, but it's just like tonight, 16 points. But again, it's what's being given to him.
Well, right. So you're saying
what he has
it might be different in 2 or 3 years. It might be even different in 2 or 3 games. I mean, this is such a specific thing that Heat do and have done for years, where they're just like, we're going to try to beat the shit out of your stars and force you to do like the third thing that you want to do. And the Celtics were so ready for it. And I mean, no one's going to be talking about this stuff, and everyone wants to suck on Spo, and he is great, but credit to Missoula and the Celtics. They played the right way, and they just absolutely beat the shit out of them. There's one shooting outlier. Other than that, they just beat the absolute shit out of that team. I think they were trailing for 56 seconds after that stupid Jimmy Butler interview in the beginning of Game 3. Like, they just fucking dominated those games. They went to Miami, smoked them in 2 straight games, came back home tonight, one of the biggest playoff demolitions you'll ever see. And again, I'm not like ripping on Spo. He's completely overmatched in the series, but it's just, when he steals the one game, everyone's talking about how awesome he is, how Joe is so clueless. Joe just stayed the course, had great game plans, great counters to everything that he did. And again, like, part of the credit Joe gets is convincing Tatum to, role player is strong, but to be content to not be some giant scorer and not think that he has to go out there and score 40 points to be effective, and to show him there's other ways to win, and this way is a pretty damn good way to win. And like I said, there will be a time in these playoffs, possibly as soon as next series, where things change, and Tatum will be out there scoring 30-plus points tonight. And again, we've seen him do it. We know he can do it. He has nothing to prove to anyone. It's all just going to come from winning. And in this series,
the only people he hasn't left to prove to are morons, basically.
Yeah, well, right, exactly. Yeah. But again, winning, doing what it takes to win is what we want to see, and he did that to perfection down the stretch of these games. So I love the way he played. I thought he was, again, easily the best player on the floor. I thought it was pretty clear he was controlling the game when he was out there completely. And you can do that in a lot of different ways, and to be great enough to realize that at this point, they're backing up the talk of sacrifice and just only caring about winning. Like, he's just going out there and doing that. So I don't know how people. I'm sure people will be detracting from this performance, but it's just so stupid. Obviously, I mean,
yeah, great way to identify if someone's a freaking moron.
It is, yes, no, very, very effective. But I mean, also to keep going with that point about Spo and Joe is like everyone obsessed. I feel like adjustments becomes almost just such like a buzzword in the playoffs. It's like, what else is there to talk about with coaching? It's just like, the adjustments, the adjustments. It's like, guess what? When your team goes out and just wins every game start to finish by 30 points, you don't really have to make that many adjustments. It's like, well, this seems to be working pretty well. So it's like, yeah, obviously one coach is in the huddle, like, trying to adjust every 5 minutes because his team's getting the shit kicked out of them. Like, what's Joe supposed to go in there? Be like, all right, guys, like, totally new strategy. We're going to do this and this and this. It's like, we just steamrolled the league. We're playing a team that's overmatched. Like, he doesn't have to go out and do all this genius, like, next level thinking. It's just like he's already done the work, and that's so much of coaching. And like another great example is Derrick White last game talking about just how Joe has like basically given him the confidence to become this new player that he has this year.
Go be a sicko.
There's so many things in coaching other than just like drawing up a play on the clipboard in a timeout. And yeah, Spo is amazing at that and has great game plans and adjustments and strategy, but it's like so much goes into coaching that we obviously don't realize. And at a certain point, a lot of the traits and a lot of things we just see and now take for granted with the way the Celtics team plays are a testament to Joe's demeanor, his style, all this stuff that he's just like put his imprint on this team. And it's just awesome to see out there. And you're seeing it, that they go out there and to dominate a game the way they did tonight and leave absolutely zero doubt, step on the necks when, not play with our food was the key to the season. Oh, basically. And tonight was the ultimate, like, they didn't play with their food. They sat down and fucking Joey Chestnut like that meal. Yeah. So
we feasted
again.
Tonight.
Like, everyone's immediately ready to be like, all right, well, like we did what we were supposed to do, and it's like, okay, but that still is good.
Right.
Let's enjoy it for a second. Like, not the players, but the fans. That, like, so. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's easy to say that's what we're supposed to do, but we never have.
Yeah. We like really have had a hard time doing it. So
exactly. Well, it's and if we can do that, then great. We'll like win the championship easily. So sick. Like,
if we just keep doing this, should be good.
Right. So,
I think I'm trying to think of where we should go. I mean,
gotta talk about
overall Jaylen.
I thought Luke was.
Let's go to Luke. Let's go to Luke.
Awesome. Like arguably the best defender on Bam. Like not just in this game, but Bam was like straight up shook. He was like Luke didn't just win those.
Dude, he's a big boy.
He kind of dominated.
Where's Luke Kornet from? Like originally, do you know?
I don't.
Let's just.
I know he went to Vanderbilt, so probably.
I'm gonna try to guess a state. I'm gonna say like not. I want to say Iowa, but not
He's
Iowa. Like
clearly got like some of the Midwestern like charm. It seems like so.
all right. Well,
no, he went to Vandy. Yeah, he screams like a Wisconsin type of guy.
I was Wisconsin.
I know that's
Wisconsin's a
where
good
from,
second.
though, so I doubt it's Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin's a good second. I'm pulling it up for us right now. So yeah, I'll let you off the hook here in a second.
I'll go with
born in Lexington, Kentucky. I don't know if
that's Midwest.
Yeah,
perfect.
Doesn't say where he. He's the son of a former Vanderbilt player and NBA player.
Yeah.
Frank, he's second generation.
I did know he had a playing back family. So yeah.
Wow.
But, no, he was like to say he gave them a lift. I'd say would be an understatement. He came in and did a really good job
in Texas, though.
Interesting. All right.
So,
well, he got.
I don't remember why I was asking that. I just feel like he's just like a country strong guy. Is what I think I was going for with that.
Huge. He's got a huge height advantage. He didn't back down at all. He goes in there, and I think people are like, "Uh-oh!" Like again, all year we've been like, "Oh no!" Like I can't believe Kornet is in, and he more than held his own. Like he made Bam take tough shots.
You're still saying that you're not watching.
He got his hands on a couple shots. He had some putback dunks. Like I don't. Luke specifically, I'm going to shout out now, but the Celtics as a whole this series like did not give up many offensive rebounds, which we talked about as a huge key all year. Like
they dominated rebounding this game.
Exactly. Well, and I know that'll get a little skewed when you're making all your shots and they're missing. It's like, well, there are more rebounds for us to get, but they weren't really getting second chances, which is huge. So if you're gonna play that good at defense, not give up second chances, that's massive. And I think it's almost easier sometimes when Porzingis is out because the guys like know they need to focus more. Like you mentioned with Tatum, he was clearly like dedicated to the glass, but the way Luke came in, I mean, if he's going to play like this, we might not need Porzingis back at all.
Well, it was 56-29 was the rebound advantage. 8 offensive rebounds for us to 2 to them. That is fucking crazy. I did see there was 1.2 when Kornet came into the game and like he walked like kind of right at the Bam, and it was sort of like they weren't really showing it, but you kind of see it on the camera, and it looked like he like instantly just got like really close to Bam, like. The play wasn't even close to being inbounded, so I think it was just, and it was like, but he wasn't even like look. He was just like not even paying attention. He was just like, and every Bam tried to go, he was like trying to like stay in front of him before like anything was even in play. So I feel like he does. He kind of goes in. I feel like he's got this kind of goofy personality, but I feel like he's he's probably just one of those guys. Like if you ever played like basketball, the guy is just really like big and just kind of like but he's a really nice guy too, and it kind of pisses you off even more because like you can't even get mad at what he's doing, but what he's doing is so frustrating.
Yeah.
Probably has the sharpest elbows. Like
no, he's
I can think of a few people that would just piss me the hell off.
He was awesome.
But they're just so nice, but they're just so strong and fundamentally sound.
Yeah, he seemed like Luke. He really got Bam out of his game because the first couple quarters, Bam was keeping him in, and it seemed like he could not miss inside. And then Luke came in, and it was like suddenly he was thinking twice about those shots. It seemed like he was trying to shoot them a little extra higher. He's like fading away a little more, and it just completely got him out of his rhythm. And by then, things were already spiraling for the Heat, but at that point, once Bam stopped scoring, that was like, oh boy.
It's over.
It was floodgates were open, to say the least, at that point. But I mean, awesome job by Luke. We've talked about it all year, and to see it actually come through in a huge playoff game against an opponent who, on the surface, I think if you were like telling me at the beginning of the year, like, yeah, we're gonna have Luke Kornet guarding Bam in a playoff game, I'd be like, what? But
that was like the thing going into the season. Everyone thought we literally had like no one beyond Al to play a big man. Like people were laughing at the idea of Kornet. So
he was amazing.
So shout out to him because he did. He grabbed the opportunity by the balls. So good for him. That's just again, I think it's just a testament to the team in general. I have something that I think we could talk about too.
Yeah.
What the hell is up with our free throws? Like,
not good.
I've said this a few times this year, and you'll be like, oh no, it wasn't even really that bad. Today was bad. 18 for 27. That's 67% on free throws.
Yeah,
on free throws. Let me see. Jaylen 2 for 5. Tatum 6 for 9.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else shot him all right. What the fuck's going on? Jaylen, I think, is he just sneaky not a good free throw shooter?
Hasn't been for a while. I think he's been at 66% since the All-Star break, which is not good.
What? That is so. That's really bad.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because at the end of the day, it feels like all that really matters is like when you need him. So in a game like this, it's easy to be like, well, you won by a shitload, and we're also getting to the line.
He's missed some clutch ones during the year.
He missed some clutch ones.
He missed 2.
Made some clutch ones. We'll see. It's tough in a game like this for me to really.
It's a little concerning.
Really get concerned, but yeah, I guess if there is a nit,
if there is a concern,
pick,
that's the concern.
that is a fair one.
Can I get at least that?
Yeah, that's fine. That's reasonable. But, not overly concerned.
Free throws it's just crazy, and again, it didn't really matter today, but who knows? It may one day matter.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, so the free throws was frustrating for me. I thought Hauser, good to see Hauser find his shot tonight. Yeah. He was, what did he finish?
17 points, I think. 6
5 for 8. Yeah, 5 for 8 from 3.
5 threes and a dunk. Great Hauser night.
Yeah, dunk, dude.
Slam out.
Derrick White, another dunk, too. It's like dunk fever. We need a Pritchard dunk. Pritchard dunk.
Wow.
What the Celtics fans need this postseason is a Peyton Pritchard dunk. And that will just, if you do that in any of these games in the Garden, that's just going to set the roof on fire on that place. We might even win out after the first Pritchard dunk. People are waiting for that. People need that.
Yeah, that would be cool, no doubt about it.
There was a video of him and Sam Cassell. They were like chirping each other. I think it was on one of O'Shea Brissett's video blogs.
Yeah.
And I think Pritchard was trying to say that he had more career dunks than Cassell or something like that. And Cassell was, I forget what they determined, but I don't think Pritchard does. I think he was surprised. I think Cassell might have had like 2 dunks like that in his career.
Well, that's awesome.
We need a Pritchard dunk. Long story short, the people demand a Pritchard dunk.
I do love
the price
that.
of Pritch going to go through the roof.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Just good stuff. Jaden Springer came in for a little bit too. That. I loved him on Herro. Yep. That was just funny.
Got some good
Poor Herro, just like he just couldn't catch a break for nothing in this
tough ending
to
a tough all around series. Although he had some moments. Early in the series where I was actually like tip of the cap. He's playing well, but overall, law of averages, everything kind of water found its level, and I think we saw what kind of playoff player he really is. It was also a hilarious moment. First of all, just like it didn't obviously matter ultimately, but the refs were so pissing me off at the beginning of the game. I still don't understand at all the challenge on the Jaylen offensive foul when he went up and clearly just got fouled, made an and one. He didn't make any contact. Like, what am I missing on that? I know
that whole thing was weird because they came back and there was a technical, and then they said that something about a ball. I didn't see the ball get thrown. I was like, funny. What is going on?
So Herro like threw the ball like a hard bounce pass at like Pritchard's back, which was just like stupid, whatever. But ultimately the determination of the challenge is like kind of concerning to me going forward. Like, okay, how can you go watch this replay and think that that's an offensive foul? Like I'm going to need to hear like an explanation on how that's possibly the call on that play, because that was just really weird to me. But then I don't know if you caught the Gorman line when he was explaining it, and he's like, foul on, he's like, technical foul on Herro. Like he was, I think I wrote it down. He's like, Herro threw the ball at Pritchard because he doesn't like that Pritchard plays hard.
Like, dude, Mike was letting it fly tonight.
Which, why wouldn't he? But I thought that did kind of sum it up. He's like, the Celtics are just like, basically trying wicked hard and not letting him be comfortable at all, and he was just clearly frustrated. But it goes to show, like that's what we called for after game 2, where we're just like, they don't have that many guys that can dribble. We have great defenders. Get up in them and like dare them to actually beat you.
Yeah, that was one of your keys to pressure the ball.
That's how they scored 80 points 3 games in a row. Like that's again that one crazy stupid game where we would have had the sweep, but hey, that's all right.
That's all right. My parlay of all my picks for a series. Final scores just busted anyway.
Brutal.
I had Suns losing in 7.
Pain.
Yeah, that was fun though.
Yeah,
it was a good run.
Yeah. No, not going to be upset about that, but overall, awesome night. Al stepping in that starting lineup, and he, was absolutely on demon time. Good. Love to see it. Drew,
he got knocked down early by Bam on a first play.
Ridiculous. The Heat were doing their strategy is literally just, we have to foul every play and just hope the refs get sick of calling it. Sometimes can work, but not tonight. And that's, again, the credit to the Celtics for being like, we are not falling into this trap. They did not fall into the mud with them today. They played above it and just
the thing that I liked the most about that whole thing was Scalabrine. A couple times tonight, like actually straight up like yelling at the refs. Yeah. I hope we're I hope he's realizing that with Mike gone, we have no connection left to Philly Tommy, so he has to give us something. But he was channeling his inner Tommy tonight, and I loved it.
That was
that first play on Horford, like that was hilarious. His reaction to that one.
Yeah. No, he was right. I'm glad he said it. Good to hear. But further on that, I think respect to the Celtics for winning this game in such dominant fashion that we really kind of got to sit there and enjoy the last 5 minutes of Mike. It felt like one kind of celebration of Gorman over the last few minutes. Got a few, like, honors from the crowd. They were playing the videos on the broadcast. He was getting a little teary-eyed, and they were kind of waxing poetic to each other. So, shouts out to that, because if it was a tight game at the end, I don't think I would have really been able to enjoy it properly. So, kind of nice that he got to go off at home in that kind of fashion, where it felt like it was almost like a coronation. The last 5 minutes was just everyone celebrating Mike, and great way to send him out.
Yeah, I'm glad he got
playing. I would feel like the way that he would love to see them play. It was almost like an honor of Mike. Like, this, we're going to play the right way, and really respect the game and go out, send him out with a bang, and that's what they did. So glad that worked out.
It's it hasn't really sunk in that's the real last Mike game. I feel like we had a little dry run through with the regular season, all this other did in the regular season. It was kind of almost had a dry run of what it's going to feel like saying bye to Mike, and then now today it actually happens. It's kind of crazy. But shout out to Mike. Check out the Chuddy's Corner.com store too. We got a Just Go Win It Gorman t-shirt on there.
Mm-hmm.
Good plug for that. But also, in all seriousness, no. It's gonna be very strange without Mike. So the dry run did not make it any easier. It's still very sad.
Definitely. But I'm glad we got to send him off.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Oh, absolutely. We're all lucky to have gotten to experience that. So we love Mike, of course, and very fitting last game for him, and one that we'll always get to reflect on and remember fondly. It's nice that when they play the highlights from his final game, we'll get to be like, oh, I remember that awesome game when we
I remember
absolutely
fucking the Heat up. That was
embarrassed the
sick.
Heat. That was the best part. It was this is the win of all the games and the wins. This was the one you felt best about, where we really did go out and pretty much embarrass them. So can't be happier about that. And then we'll see obviously how it goes from here. But I think we kind of talked about it a little before the series, but we were almost afraid to fully lean into it just because of the history and PTSD from the Heat. But I think we had kind of said, and I think now I feel even better about it, obviously, the way the series has gone. But maybe actually sneaky, the perfect first round matchup to set the tone for this run, to immediately come out, get our attention. Just a team that obviously can't match us with talent, but coaching and everything like that, making us work hard and focus and have the right mindset, where again, if we had played the Bulls in round one, they're probably not really making us break a sweat. So I just feel like they so like I said, if they had pushed us to 7, I'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe this. But now that we've officially vanquished them, it's okay, that's what we needed to get this run going.
We got the wake up call. We realized that it's every team, we bleed just like every other team. Right. So
and
you're probably right about that. I think that's a good first round.
Obviously, that have much more talent than Heat, but we won't play a team with a better coach and better schematics, and a team that can probably make us as uncomfortable as the Heat can, even with lesser personnel. So nice to get that right out of the gate and to kind of overcome that.
Yeah. All right. So that's our first round opponent. Our second round opponent, so we don't know who it's going to be yet. It's going to be either the Cavs or the Magic. Mm-hmm. I do have shout out to Sean Grandy, tweeted out kind of a little when the games will be. So if the Magic win, I think they play again on Friday. I don't think they play tomorrow. For some reason, I think I looked at it. They don't play tomorrow.
Probably. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Sounds good. If so.
But yeah.
The longer the better.
If the Magic, either way, whatever day they play, if the Magic win Game 6, they force a Game 7, the earliest that we would play would be Tuesday, May 7th. That would be Game 1 against either the Cavs or the Magic. Mm-hmm. So before we get into who we kind of want to face, I think we can agree that we want the Magic to at least win Game 6, force Game 7.
Yeah.
The longer we can prolong that series, and in doing so, the Eastern Conference Finals, give Porzingis a lot of time to recover.
Mm-hmm.
I guess too, real quick, we can just say, I mean, with Porzingis, what do you think? They haven't really given any info, but it sounds like maybe 2 weeks. He's getting reevaluated in 1 week.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, they say he's getting reevaluated in a week, and then we'll see from there. He wasn't on the sidelines today. I think that maybe just you want to be able to stretch that thing out or something like that. I don't know. I had a bunch of medical reasons that I was making up about why I wasn't there, but
love that. I like to think that he's just like rehabbing so hard that he can't even afford to take the time to like go watch the game.
Yeah, can't risk it swelling up.
Like been rehabbing, didn't know.
But it sounds like he avoids like the more serious things we were worried about. It's probably as outside of no injury at all. It's probably close to a best case scenario. At least it seems right now.
Yeah.
Again, there's not a whole lot. I don't know how to pronounce the muscle in the calf. They're saying that it is soleus.
Yeah.
But apparently it's like in the lower part of the calf. So hopefully, he's able to get back. But for what we're rooting for now, we're rooting for the Magic to win. We would love to see. We're getting into that Knicks Sixers series. We'd love to see that one go a long time too. We'd love to see the Bucks come back and force Game 7. We want games now at this point. We've done what we need to do. We want games.
I actually don't want the Bucks to force a Game 7. We'll disagree on that one, but
okay, well, yeah, fair enough. That's true.
But yes,
I get the Bucks podcast.
But I don't want them to actually win and then Giannis comes back.
So, having said all of that, to get to this, who would you rather face next, the Cavs or the Magic?
So I've been torn on this one. I think it's tough. At the end of the day, we obviously should beat either team relatively handily. I would say, I guess now, given Porzingis is out and like watching this series and looking at it a little more closely, I think I would slightly rather play Cleveland. And I think it's more than anything just because of the way the Magic play, like, and how they're so physical, so tough, so good at defense, and have a lot of size. Especially without Porzingis, I could see them making that tougher on us and just really kind of like dragging things out and just forcing us to work harder. Again, I mean, we should definitely beat them. And I mean, they have obviously a little bit of history. That team to me just is like a tougher, more physical team. So that could just be more of like a pain in the ass. Whereas with the Cavs, they're probably the better team. And they obviously, like Magic don't really have anyone like Donovan Mitchell who can kind of take over a game in that sense. But, I mean, the Cavs, I just don't like.
To the Cavs.
What? Well,
I said, but they're the Cavs.
Yeah, and I mean, they have Mitchell and Garland, who are both guys we could really pick on when they're on the defensive end. Jared Allen missed the last game. He's got the rib injury, too. He's been arguably the best player for them in the series, their best big guy. I know Evan Mobley had a really good game last time, but I think Mobley and Garland are still young and pretty green in playoff sense, and I think guys that we can take advantage of. And then from there, their shooters, really, Strus hasn't played well. Dean Wade, the Celtics killer, has been hurt. Niang,
thank God.
The minivan, whatever they're calling him now, hasn't been great for them either. So
they're calling him the minivan?
He was the minivan. They renamed him. I forget what his new nickname is. It's another funny car.
Interesting.
I forget.
The Prius?
No, it's it'll come to me at some point, but
yeah, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a similar selection, but to me, I think the Cavs just have more stuff that we can kind of pick on in a matchup, again, especially with those guards that they need to play for the scoring, but are guys that between those two, LeVert, guys we can attack, whereas the Magic can put out lineups with 5 really good defenders.
Well, yeah, so that for me, that's what it comes down to. I think to me, it's not as close as to you. I think I definitely would rather face the Cavs. I think that the Magic just sort of match up with us a little bit better. Like I think Paolo is able to just match up better with both of the Jays and stuff like that. I think it's like, not that I'm saying he'd be able to lock them up or anything, but I think the Magic are just would be the bigger pain in the ass, I guess. Like I think that we should be able to beat either one of them, but I do think that the Magic will kind of be able to force us to play a little bit differently than I think the Cavs would. And I think what you said too about the guards the Cavs have is, again, the scoring can be an issue, but I trust our defense at this point. So I trust that even if they do have a good game, it's not going to be anything out of control. And the fact what we get on the other end of that offensively, we saw this series what it looks like when we can just totally go pick on different guys, the mismatches that we create. So I think for me, it definitely would go to the Cavs, even though the Cavs are winning the series now, but we'll see, because neither one of these teams seems to be able to play well on the road. So.
Right. Even though the last game was finally close. The Magic should have won that game last night. But also, the thing to play, just like, obviously we both said we would rather play the Cavs, but just to devil's advocate that, is like when you watch the Magic, these guys can't score. Like, they don't have a guard who can create offense. They have no shooting. Like, we could lock them up and they could score like 75 points in a game. I could easily see that. Paolo's awesome, but it's a second year in the league. Like, we can, and you can say, he's a good matchup for us. Well, we have good matchups for them too. So I think, in a playoff series, where we're taking the Magic as seriously as we should, like, we should make pretty quick work of them, too. I just think...
So you'd rather the Magic?
I think they'd make us work harder, so it would be, like, a more annoying series. But there's, like... Offensively, they could be almost as suspect as that Heat team we just played. Like, not that. But the other thing, too, I'm watching last night's game. It's the fourth quarter, very tight game, 2-2 playoff series. The Cavs had Marcus Morris, Tristan Thompson out there, and the Magic have Joe Ingles.
No way.
And yeah, the Magic have Joe Ingles on the court. And I'm just like, all right. I don't care who's injured. There's no, like, we should beat either of the teams in 5 games at the most.
All right. Marcus Morris and
Morris
Tristan
hit one of the
Thompson.
biggest shots of the game.
I did know that, but I did not realize that Tristan Thompson was anywhere.
Because Jared Allen was out. So he wasn't closing the game, but he was playing backup center minutes, which still is
wild.
Pretty great. Yeah, exactly.
That is crazy. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, I guess basically it sounds like it's a toss-up.
Yeah,
for...
I think the Magic have the better coach, too. I think they're both all right. Bickerstaff's solid.
Yeah, second place, right? Second place in the Coach of the Year.
Mosley was, right? Or was it...
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was the Magic coach.
Yeah, yeah. Mosley is the Magic coach, I'm saying.
He
Bickerstaff is
all
the
right.
Cavs coach. I think they both were probably top 5 or so-ish, but I think Mosley's probably slightly better. But either way, I like our chances in either matchup. So, yeah, let's go 7.
So, yeah. And we'll save a little bit. We'll save a little bit on this breakdown, just because once once we know who we are playing, we'll probably do a podcast on previewing that matchup for everybody.
For sure.
All right, what do we looking just around the NBA?
Mm-hmm.
I think we can definitely. So I guess we can start a couple places, because since we last potted, the Lakers are eliminated.
Yep. Let's
start with
a second Jamal Murray game winner has hit the Lakers.
So I love the spin zone that's going around, where people are pointing out again, like much like last year, because the Lakers led so many minutes of this series that they were right there. It wasn't as bad, so they've lost.
Most competitive gentleman's sweep ever.
8 of their last 9 games in the playoffs against the Nuggets, and there's still people that are saying that these teams are playing each other pretty closely. So it's hilarious. Did I see that? Did I see LeBron say that he's going to test free agency, or did someone misquote that?
Say that. So he is just classic LeBron fashion of him going out of his way to say that he doesn't want anyone to talk about something, and then just throwing an absolute chainsaw in the hot tub. So the last
I don't know why anyone's
question.
going to tell this story here.
Yeah.
If I'm leaving, it's going to be
the last question of his press conference. Like, I don't know who asked him. I should have that, but they said something along the lines of, "At any point during this game, did the thought cross your mind that this might be your last time wearing a Lakers uniform?"
That's hilarious.
And he kind of laughed.
At any point in this game, are you in the middle of the game being like, "Fuck,
well,
I'm about to quit"?
And also, again, if he truly doesn't want this to be something people talk about, he can just immediately be like, "No," and just next question. It's very easy to just completely shut that down. Instead,
how did he phrase it instead?
He kind of laughs. He goes, "Huh." He's smiling. He goes, "I'm not going to answer that. I appreciate it, though." Drops the mic and walks out. For the season into the offseason. So again, he can now say
we might see him in a Lakers
I don't want anyone speculating about my future. But it's all right, well, you can't act like you don't know that that's immediately going to force everyone to start rampantly speculating. But I mean, the speculation's begun, and because it's what does LeBron want? What does he care about? He's 40 years old. He's still very good, but he's clearly not good enough to just carry a team and be the guy. He needs a very good team. But he still can be.
But then how does he fit in?
Player. Well, that's the question. What does he want to do? Does he want to just go chase rings and go play with, Luka or Embiid, or go to New York, go back to the Cavs? Is that going to be?
Oh my God! Imagine Luka, Kyrie, and LeBron.
Well, is that going to be his top priority? Just go win a ring, because he can opt out and do that. Is his priority?
I don't see why he would want to play for any other reason.
Well, I mean, he might just want to stay in LA where he lives and has his family. He might really want to go play with Bronny wherever he gets drafted. But also, is he gonna be comfortable doing that, or does he believe that the Lakers can trade everything left for Trae Young, and that they are close, and if they just don't play the Nuggets, they, I can see them now convincing themselves hey, we're the second best team. We just need to not be in the play-in game and play the Nuggets, and we'll be. I don't know. You could convince themselves.
That's probably why he's trying.
We can run it back.
He's probably trying to rush to get the Las Vegas team up and running, so that he can basically make a case for. Right. We have to move one of these Western Conference teams east now, so maybe get the Nuggets over the Eastern Conference.
I don't think it's going to be Denver this moving, but that'll be a nice thought.
I'm trying to picture the halfway mark.
Well, Minnesota, Memphis,
Oh,
by
yeah,
far the two easternmost, and then New Orleans.
So he's going to
and
need a
then
few
even
more
the Texas
expansion teams.
One. Yeah, he's going to need a lot more teams.
Did I just totally butcher where Colorado is on a map? I think I might have.
A little bit, but that's okay.
I'm picturing Kansas right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to get it done. Not going to
Picture the Rocky Mountains being a little more rocky.
Yes, unfortunately not the case for LeBron. But the other thing is that's hanging over all of this is the Olympics, obviously, this summer. So everyone's kind of thinking him and Curry and KD are all going to be sitting there being like, man, we can't really get it done on our own anymore, but what if?
Dude, I think that team would get waxed by, like, I don't know.
They probably would.
Where would they go? Like, Golden State, would they go to Golden State? Like, I don't feel like Golden State has enough around them.
Give me Chris Paul, Curry, LeBron, Kurt Durant, and Draymond on a team just absolutely sinking with that. Like, we're all going out. Our generation is all going to team up, and we'll see what happens. Like, obviously
Jesus Christ.
Like, KD, LeBron, and Curry are all still all NBA players. It's not like they're, like, washed. But
it's like the episode of King of the Hill where they went like paintballing by the little kids and got absolutely rocked. Shout out King of the Hill.
Yeah, great show.
On a rewatch. so much better as an adult.
Oh wow! All right, I'll have to check that out.
Do you know, like, if I may quickly side talk, because this blew my mind. Do you know who played the voice of Luann on King of the Hill?
I feel like I have heard this before. Is it not me? Not Mila Kunis. She's Family Guy.
She was probably like 4 years old.
Yeah, true. I don't know. No,
it's Brittany Murphy. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's right.
I was trying to look up who played Bill, and I came across that, and I fucking
great.
Whoa.
Great stuff.
Anyway, side tangent.
Good tangent.
So Lakers are probably fucked.
Yeah.
I'd say
Suns are even more fucked.
Suns are totally fucked. We already talked about how fucked the Suns are. I think we can. Let's save the potential Nuggets, Timberwolves. Well, not potential, but let's save that for when we do the series preview. Yeah. So
one more
save
thing
that.
I do want to shout out that we didn't mention somehow when we talked about we were so busy ripping on the Suns that we forgot to mention that the T-Wolves head coach Chris Finch got taken out.
Oh yeah,
and he's injured. Fuck. I forget the injury, but he's probably not. He's probably gonna have to be like on a booth. Like so, Micah Nori, the assistant, is gonna head coach supposedly with a headset on, and Finch is gonna be in the back like talking to him. Which first of all, seems crazy that it's even allowed. Like I don't know.
He should have to be like somewhere on like the floor. He should have to be like.
Yeah, like
because if you're in the back, because he was like watching like
it seems a little sketch,
different replays and shit. That seems a little unfair.
It does seem a little unfair.
Unless they put him in like one of those things from like the Maury show where it's like they're in the room back there, they can't see anything that's going on, like closed circuit television.
But at a certain point, it's like, all right, is this even helping? It's either like an unfair advantage or it's like not even worth doing. But it's just a kind of bizarre subplot. I mean, obviously he's a really good coach and. It's just going to be weird now. I think that's going to be an awesome series, but I'm not sure people are making enough out of the fact that they're just seemingly not going to have their head coach on the sidelines. It's a little odd.
All right, I think we're getting a little long in the tooth here. I'd say let's talk about the 76ers and the Knicks because again, I've said every time I never want this series to end. And Tyrese Maxey made sure that it did not end. This is crazy. I can't think of any time that a series has had like endings like that where a team's down like 6 with such little time left and won, but had it been like both teams get to experience that type of joy, that's like a totally
unbelievable
absurd. So to set the scene for everybody, why don't you go ahead and do it because you got the more photographic memory than me. I know the Knicks were up 6 with like 28 seconds left.
Possibly an even crazier game than game 2, which is one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my life. Like you said, the Knicks scored. The Madison Square Garden, like the camera was shaking. They were already in like celebration mode. Like we did it. We closed this out. Up 6, 28 seconds left. Tyrese Maxey comes down, kind of just at that point pulling up. For some reason, Mitchell Robinson gets in his airspace, fouls him on a 3 and 1. 4-point play for Maxey, cuts it to 2. They do a great job of being patient on defense and foul Josh Hart, the weakest foul shooter, who has not sat all game, obviously, so I'm sure he's a little tired. He misses 1 of 2, so it's a 3-point game. They set a high pick and roll almost at half court, and Tyrese Maxey pulls up from deep in the logo and buries a 35-footer who scored 7 points in 28 seconds to force overtime. About as improbable of a scene as could be seen, and then the Sixers held on, won it in overtime. absolute insanity. Like, absolute insanity. I don't think it's hyperbole to say this is one of the craziest series I've ever seen. It's like there hasn't been 1 second of garbage time. Like, every second of every game has been competitive. Every ending has been crazy. Like I said, between last game and game 2, the last 2 games played in MSG have been probably 2 of the craziest endings to playoff games ever. It's just unbelievable. And it's like, what's going to happen next? I have no idea. As a Celtics fan and one who doesn't like either team or their fan bases, this has just been great. Because it's like, as soon as one fan base starts to get a little too high, they get it all sucked away. Like, I had been enjoying kind of like the Philly downfall and was pretty much rooting for the Knicks. But then last night, I was almost like, all right, the Knicks fans are getting a little too much joy, and they're too cocky. Like, I need them to be taken down a peg. So to see them now they're right back to like, the classic Knicks. Like, we're fucked. I can't believe this is happening to us again. It's perfect. I'm sure Philly will win. Like, I don't even know what I want to happen at this point. Like, there's no good outcome or no bad outcome.
I definitely want Philly to win Game 6. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it would also be kind of funny now if they go back and lose at home after that. Like, I don't know.
No. We need one more game in the Garden. If we need,
at
this point, you have to be rooting. I feel like at this point, you have to root for Philly to win. I'm almost like, imagine another game in the Garden, all those fucking celebrities, and that happens, and like a similar thing happens. Like, I feel like the Knicks, that would be so funny, like that, because to me, it's way more on brand for the Knicks to lose like that, and then for the Sixers to lose in the second round. That's kind of like that's sort of like the way of nature, you know. So the Knicks,
whichever
the
team
picture that
is going to be awesome
of Tracy. Tracy Morgan, flipping off
finger to Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey, and then like Ben Stiller's there too, just looking fucking shocked.
Oh, that's perfect.
That was just hilarious stuff. Awesome stuff.
I can't get enough
absolute
of
theater. Yeah,
it is
exactly. Me neither.
You're right.
I want that to be a best of 9 series.
It really does seem like it's scripted, like it's a show, and they're just like, well, what character should we kill off next? And like, so that's like, I can't wait to watch next game. Like, I'm so excited.
No, the next one's gonna be sick too. I hope that it's like way more like Philly scumbag in the crowd too, and then like there's still some like Knicks. Like, I hope that there's like a little bit of that dynamic too. That there's a lot more like hostility. I hope that the Philly fans are kind of like, oh, we gotta fucking go out here and fucking That's terrible. I don't know if that was Philly or Wisconsin accent I just did there, but
I don't know what that
fucking bash over there with a hoagie.
There you go. That was pretty good.
That was good.
That was much better. I mean, also it's just like so
go Birds.
Bizarre everything out there that's happening. Like, Embiid was terrible. I know his final stats he had a triple double, but he had, counting the ones that for some reason they didn't credit to him, it seemed like he had about 15 turnovers, just awful passing, awful dribbling. They just kept trying to post him up, and he just kept getting the ball poked away over and over again. It was like hard to watch. I mean, Maxey couldn't have bailed him out anymore. Beyond that, Maxey had like 46 points, almost had a triple-double of his own. He was the story. Obviously, it was absolutely incredible. Nick Nurse, talking about coach injuries. He slammed his hand hard so down, I guess, at one point in overtime. I think he broke his finger or something. So he's dealing with an injury, too. There's just so much great stuff going on. Meanwhile, Knicks players are getting injured left and right. They're down to like basically 7 guys. Not that Tibbs needs more than 5. But I don't know. It's fascinating, and I just hope that this is one where, I guess like you said, at the end of the 7th game, neither team can stand up would be ideal. As a Celtics fan, I'm glad we get to sit back and just root for more carnage. But this has been super fun. Super fun. I'm loving this series. Truly, I think we'll go down probably as one of the all-time great first-round series. And we don't even know how it's going to end.
I'm loving it. Do they play tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock in Philly, which I absolutely love.
That's going to get interesting.
Yeah, and did you see, too, that all the Philly, like Michael Rubin or whatever, and all these other guys are coming out, and they're, like, imploring Philly fans to not sell their tickets, and I think they were, like, bought a bunch of tickets, and they're going to give them to, like, Philly, like, first responders who like prove that they're like Sixers fans or something like that.
Shout out to Philly first responders, but I was hoping that you were going to say they're just going to give like the biggest scumbag Philly fans they could find.
No, I think this is absolute loser shit. Personally, the whole.
Well, I mean, if you have to have your local billionaires buying tickets so that your arena isn't overrun by New York mutants.
Yeah, I mean that's pathetic. But either way, I can't wait. Whatever happens tomorrow, it's like no matter what, as Celtics fans, there'll be a positive spin. Something will happen that we'll get to enjoy, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask.
I'm just hoping to God the series doesn't end tomorrow. I just need more of it. I never want it to end. If I got stuck on Groundhog Day and that whole game was just I could just relive that'd be freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it's really, really excellent. It really does feel like the Knicks fans have finally started to get some
I had a Knicks fan.
I had
a Knicks fan who's a friend of mine showed me when Porzingis went down, saying that the Knicks are going to win the East, and then that game happened. I'm like, bro, you gotta get past Philly first. That's a tough text to send to have that happen.
Yeah, there were a lot. It was. Let's just say I think it was a good night for the Old Takes Exposed Twitter account last night with some of the
some great videos too. Yeah, someone saying that Maxey doesn't want the spotlight, and then he hits all those shots. It's just pure comedy.
Yeah, it's incredible stuff.
All right, what
Bucks,
I don't know what else.
Pacers. I mean, Bucks fended off elimination.
NBA TV series. Who gives fuck?
yeah. It sounds like Giannis Dame still doubtful for Game 6 in Indy. So.
All right.
But if it gets back to Milwaukee, that's going to get a little dicey.
Bucks in 7 with Giannis coming back. That was my pick.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm not saying I like it, but I call it.
Nope.
I don't like when it rains, but I can look up and say I think it's going to rain and be right about it.
Why do you not like when it rains? The fuck?
I don't know.
It's called
I guess
water. It's kind of important to the earth.
I just wish you did it over. Just rain overnight. Just don't do it during the day. I got shit to do.
Fuck that.
If every night was just rain, that'd be sick.
What the hell is rain stopping you from doing?
I don't know. Sitting outside in the sun, which I probably shouldn't do anyway.
Oh, sorry, Rain.
Which is probably actually a terrible idea.
My life, Rain.
yeah. Then I'm getting absolutely sunburned. I'm just praying for the rain to go.
I love when it rains, personally. As
I need rain. No, rain at night's nice. Little pitter tatter on your windowsill. Beautiful stuff.
Massive rain guy.
All right, farmer Chud. All right. I think we're good here. We covered all our bases, huh?
I think so. I do think so.
The Heat are dead. But again, I think there's definitely some memes that I'm picturing like Godzilla when he every Godzilla movie ends with them blowing him up and him sinking down to the bottom of the ocean. Everyone's like, oh there he goes. No, so it's like
they'll find some way to do something.
Yeah.
This isn't.
But for now, the Heat are dead, and we killed them. And I don't care they didn't have Jimmy Butler. I don't care they didn't have Terry Rozier. I don't care they didn't have Jaime Jaquez Jr. They got fucking killed. If you don't want your players to get hurt in the play-in series, don't get in the play-in series. The regular season matters.
Right.
Everyone said the regular season doesn't matter. Just look what just happened there.
Yeah.
The regular season matters.
And I think more than any, obviously they're going to be strapped. It's going to be tough for them to make major, roster moves. But I think the biggest thing is they have to change their own sucking of their own dicks and start to be we're not special.
Well, they haven't even won. Yeah, it'd be one thing if they had won a ring at least doing this.
If they had 3 titles and they're doing this, then it's okay, that's one thing.
Because they were a 1 seed and they lost to us in 7.
They basically had one crazy run as an 8 seed last year. A lot of things broke.
The bubble one, which who even remembers the bubble? Anything. And then last year they did it once, and for some reason they did it once, and they're just oh, whoa, remember that. But we cover this again. The Heat are dead for now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
that's that.
I'm with you.
Right.
I also think that shout out to Miami Heat Beat, who you were getting in the mud with a little bit. It was a respectable Twitter account that I actually do follow. Did you see their response? That was a commendable response. And
I know. The response made me feel bad. So
we're not used to rational and respectable Heat fans. So
I know. I might have to
give him at least the handshake. Me.
I might give him a salute. It's because he said he had a tweet. So if you don't know, but you should know, you should follow at Chuddy's Corner on Twitter.
Duh.
But he said this team is. He's a Miami Heat obviously guy. This team is tattered and hanging on by a thread. Over half their starters are hurt, and their best bench guy can barely move. This was inevitable, but they have fought and got a game. Sucks, but we should be proud. So I, just being an asshole, I made a meme that was just for some, I just had to be an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Made a meme of the Miami Heat band that just had fought and got a game, and I tweeted it, and he snap replied, just says, no banner, they're just bad this year. Just meant that the injured team finding a game against Boston, who was awesome this season. I'm just being real, so I feel so bad. I'm sorry, at my MIA Heat Beat.
Which is a local Heat podcast and Heat fan podcast, kind of similar to what we do. So actually, that's the reason I saw the tweets, because I follow them and they do a good job. Like I said, there's a lot of Miami Heat quote unquote fans who are not super respectable, but these guys are good. They're respectable Heat fans, so that was why I shared their tweet in the first place. But I think no harm, no foul. I don't think what you did was too mean, and like I said, I think appreciate a little trash.
We're just having fun
Exactly,
tonight.
yeah,
Tonight we're
exactly.
feasting. Miami Heat beat. It's
Exactly.
nothing against you. You seem like a well-rounded individual. So
I also just think it's funny.
I don't know. I was just being a prick. Someone sent out too. Like, are you really gonna get all hyper? It's just I have so many memes loaded. Yeah, I'm gonna get fucking hyper.
Right.
I didn't come all this way just to say came this far. So I got the memes ready to go.
Exactly. And also, I don't want to hear about anything of the Heat being our daddies or bugaboo or this and that. Or it's they beat us one time in a 7-game series with these teams. We played 3 years in a row and we won twice.
And I'd say they beat us 0 times with this team because I feel like we're not even the team we were last year.
But whatever. I'll say the last 3 years is all the extension of similar cores and nucleuses. Obviously with changes, but even if that's the case, people act like the year when we beat them in 7, they won that series. It's we won a 7-game series, then they won a 7-game series, and now we won a 5-game series. It's
yeah,
I don't know.
Crazy. All right, we'll keep everyone updated on the preview, the next round preview pod. So make sure you're following at Chuddy's Corner for all the kind of updates on that front. Subscribe the podcast wherever you're listening to it on. Check out the YouTube page too. Like and subscribe on there.
Do it.
Follow me at Doug_outs. Follow Chud at King Chuddy. Also, make sure you're going to chuddyscorner.com, checking out the merch store. We got a bunch of stuff up there now. We got some mugs, bucket hats, t-shirts. That Mike Gorman t-shirt I mentioned that's a pretty good seller right now. I think we're gonna have. I was working on some dog bandanas. They're gonna get the pets involved. All kinds of fun stuff, and we're working on some merch giveaways too. So stay tuned for all that. Chuddy, enjoy the rest of your night. The Heat are gone. Take care.
Peace out, Chuddy heads.